All right, let me cue this. Stupid stuff up. Oh, man. Black African power. Peace. We back again. I'm black again. Black at you. I am black at you. Yep, black at you. I'm just letting people come in, man. You know what I'm saying? Like the show, share the show. We back. Let's have some fun. Since they say we don't have fun over here, let's have some fun. Uh-oh. Caleb is loud. He getting in trouble, y'all. She said that's the last time she sang. All right, it look like we just gonna have a few people back in here, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? I don't expect that many people being here, man. You know what I'm saying? People don't mess with the mosh like that, you know. I won't say that. I say people don't mess with me like that. Shout out to the brother who just subscribed to our channel. We appreciate you subscribing. Brother, please like our content, share our content, tell a friend, tell a friend. All right. Look like we getting some people up in here a little bit. Atlanteans built the pyramids. Yeah, so I want to welcome y'all to the episode of The Ignorance in Men. In this episode, we are going to take a brief look at the history of the Kemetic unconscious coon killer on Facebook. He goes by the name of Jeremiah Judah, Jeremiah 7000, Jeremiah whatever. I don't care.
Hey, this one ain't good. Hold up, y'all. Okay. There we go, y'all. How about Hashem, Yahawashah, Barakadam, Mishpaka, Kyle Yasharam. Hey, guess what? You Hotep niggas, you West Coast African niggas, you got some explaining to do. Jeremiah Judah done dug deep again, y'all. I had to go into the rabbit hole. And guess where it led me? It led me to West Africa, Ghana this time, y'all. I know Garfield, Unc West, Jabari, Gary, a.k.a. Sarnetta, you ain't tell us about this one. I know you was hiding your hand behind your back. I know you niggas knew about this shit. Didn't want to tell the Hebrew Israelites about this one, y'all. Well, I got some breaking news. Hey, it's called trichosis. I want everybody to look it up right. Become welcome to the Lions Den Academy of Education and Information. I tell you, get out your pencil, your paper, you take notes. You see what I'm saying? You take notes and you write stuff down. Now, how you spell this? Trokosi. I'm going to give you a little education about this. It's about these priests. What they do, they take little young girls, 8, 9, 10 years old, and they make them sexual slaves, y'all, in 2019. And you know why? For the sins of some, they make them slaves for the sins of relatives or something that their asses did. So you niggas take your ass back over to God if you want to, and they find out you some kin of these folks, your ass gonna end up with a priest whore. You see? That's what's going down today at the Lions Den Academy of Education and Information. Garfield Reed, I want you to put your West African spirituality and belief against the Bible. Because this shit right here ain't right. They molested a little 9 and 10 year old. Look at this weirdo right here. We're going to start with his weird ass. Here we go. Look at this. Yeah. Y'all ain't talking?
All right. So, I'm going to pause the video right there.
Sean.
Yeah.
I don't even see why you should address this dude here, man.
No, I ain't addressing him. Look at the title.
What's the title? I can't hardly see it.
The title is called "The Ignorance in Men."
Okay, yeah, ignorance. Okay, yeah, your title. Yeah.
Listen to what he said. Now, for the listening audience who's unfamiliar with Jeremiah Judah, this is what he does. That screen behind him is on the internet. He goes and uses YouTube and tries to teach people. Don't believe me? Just watch. YouTube will be his only source. Now, he gave us somebody's name, said, look it up, said they got sex slaves going on, so on and so forth. Watch this.
About this shit. I know you didn't. I know you didn't want us to know. You niggas don't keep your mouth off the Bible right now. Talking about you West Africans. I got you. That's right. Come on into the den, everybody. Let me get a few more y'all here before we get this going. What's up, man? I see you, family. I got some. Hey, right now I'm at work. Right now I got some business to do. You know the enemy. The enemy gets the Hebrews. They been running their goddamn mouth. Hey, I got you. Well, I also have. Hey, I wanted to give a shout out to them brothers in New Jersey, the Hebrew Israelites. They went out and handled that business, and handled them white Jewish people. Hey, they took things to their own hand. They went to war. So us Hebrew Israelites, we don't need to separate ourselves from them right now. What we need to do is go make a GoFundMe for them, right? Ain't that what they do when they kill us? When they killed Mike Brown, that cop, they damn near made him a millionaire. You see? But we, as Hebrew Israelites, why are we trying to separate ourselves from the Hebrew Israelites and went out and shot them Jewish people? Huh? No, we ain't supposed to be turning our back on them now. Them heroes. The hell wrong with y'all? Them are heroes. December 10th, 2019, I want y'all to remember that for the rest of your damn life. Them are heroes. Them are soldiers. We need to be putting money on their damn books. What's wrong with you niggas trying to separate from them? Come on, we don't wait on the Most High. Sometimes it's a time for war and it's a time for peace. You don't know how they took that. You don't know how they took that scripture. What's wrong with y'all, man? I salute them brothers. I want to start them a GoFundMe right now. In the meantime, you Hotep niggas, you West African niggas, y'all got some explaining to do.
All right, so we only 3 minutes and 50 seconds into this video. He has already made himself look completely ignorant. I don't even know what we talking about no more, because he done went on a whole nother tirade. He done told us to look up something, and he ain't even addressing it, y'all. So let's move on.
Here we go. Let me get a few more people up in here. Hold up. Let me see. Let me get a few more people on this phone. And we're going to check this madness out. Yeah. But them brothers in Jersey, they went in there and handled them business. Don't you know?
This why people say they don't want him on the platform because of the things that he say, because he's saying this thing and he's publicizing this thing as if these ignorant folk actually did. You know what?
These people that brought us on the good shit, Jesus, they was Jewish people. It's shame to say it. Bible, when this was going on, I didn't count them. I didn't count these West African niggas. They've been bragging about we should be West Africans. We should give up our Bible. When this was going on in your country, Garfield, from where you from, nigga, you didn't tell us about this, did you? Let's go. Let's get to it. Let me show y'all something. Yeah, look it up. It's called Tricosi. Trokosi. And what they do, they enslave young women, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, to the priest for sins that some of their relatives did for life. And then when you get old and down, they gonna get another relative for your ass. So you take your black ass back to Ghana if you want to, and they find out one of your cousins and did something, then you're gonna end up being a priest whore. I'm trying to tell you. Let's get it. Hold up, man. Look how sad she looks.
Now, for the record, you disrespecting the hell out of West Africa. I think that's the problem that I actually have in this particular topic, or this topic of the conversation. Kofi, can you let Satep and Ryan? Is that?
Yeah, I'm got him now.
Is that this dude just disrespected the hell out of West Africa? Look, watch.
Inside Ghana's witchcraft refugee camp. They clowning over in Ghana. I ain't fooling with them. I thought about going back over there. Nah, they got me messed up.
He thought about going back over there. When has he ever been to Africa? Notice he didn't even play the YouTube video that he looking up. He just looking at titles on YouTube and scrolling.
You had me over in slavery. Hell no. Let me see. Yeah. Let's see. Look at this weirdo. Got his man boobs out, nigga. Pump him. Here we go. Let's get it. Let's go. Salute to them. Hey, salute to them. Shalom.
He finna teach us, y'all. He finna teach us. He finna teach us.
Yeah. Oh.
He finna teach us.
You gotta know what's going on around the world, y'all. They trying to trick us to go back over there and have your ass in slavery. James can say it. I didn't call him James. Look up Tricosi. Look it up. Yeah. They've been to put us back in slavery. Something that your cousin did 20 years ago. Look. Oh, let me turn it up, y'all. Garfield didn't tell us about this. Hold up. They sleeping with 6 and 7 year olds. Don't you think it's a good thing for her to be kept here? Look at Garfield also, y'all. It's finding difficult to believe. This is Ghana 30 years ago. I told 30 years ago, and they're gonna find out one of those. And look at that. Atonement for sin, stuff you ain't even did. And they talking about, oh, you Americans, you black Americans are welcome back home. And then what they gonna do? They gonna find out one of your cousins did 30 years ago, and you gonna become a cozy whore. Hey, they gonna have you running around butt naked, picking cotton somewhere, goddamn it, in Africa. Fooling around with them. Garfield, you guys, this is in Ghana. This is in Ghana. No wonder you want us to. No wonder they trying to lure us back over there, y'all. He probably a paid agent. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Let me get a few more pictures. We done caught him. Talking about you black Americans come on home. I bet. Then they find out your uncles have stole some fruit.
All right. So again, this brother right here makes a group called a Comedic Unconscious Coon Killer. His first video, we didn't see the first video. We saw the second video. He ain't got number 12 views on one he did 3 weeks ago, 12 views. Here you go. Look, he had 1 like on this one. Yeah, sign that on the screen. We just seen that one. Check this out.
Man, you got a crazy dude on here, Sean.
Man, listen, yo. Listen. The name of the show, man. This the ignorance. This the ignorance in this dude. Look at that. Danny in the chat like, what the
Yeah,
I don't even think. I don't even think the Hebrews like him, do they?
Some of the Hebrews don't. Some of them don't. Look.
I don't know none that do.
Look, he got all this on here, man. He got opinion about everything, about everyone, about things he don't know nothing about. Look, so-called contradiction or just poor reading comprehension. Hi, my name's Hotep, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Never heard of promoter futons. Genesis 1:4-5 versus Genesis 1:14 and 18. You see what I'm saying? This all him. This all him. All him. This is what he do. He need attention. He need attention this bad that he made a whole Facebook group. Look how he dedicate posts. Jabari, stop running. I'm back 7,000. Oh, you know. Look, the same energy we had for Nipsey, we need to have for the pregnant woman they gunned down by a racist KBs. Good point. Now you agree with him now. Look, he mad at Polite sitting with Harry. These false Jews can't identify with the Bible. Even the brothers lost in Kemet know this. See? Look at him. I don't know what weight loss challenge Al Sharpton a part of, but because I'm about to please let him know he the winner. Look at him. Look at him. He's a Jabari be like, yo. Con community love this guy. Look, he ain't playing.
He ain't playing with a full deck.
Look, he said, look, Polite is the black Trinity God. Yo. Hold on, yo. I need to find something. He even got this pseudo dude he arguing with, calling him a hotel. You see what I'm saying? The Kansu Amun Ra dude, he's pseudo is I don't know what. He part of the New Wapians. He arguing with him. He arguing with anybody he can argue with, yo. Look at this. I don't even know what this is. What is this?
No man, he ain't all there, man. I don't. How I say that's just a waste of time trying to address this. But you said you just showing because he ain't all there, man.
No,
dude is not all there.
Nah, he ain't all there. Danny said, "What the?" Yo, the only reason I did this was because he just sent this to me, and I'm like, I don't want to see this. So I clicked on it, and I was like, man, look at the ignorance in this dude.
Oh, he sent it to you, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, he be sending me stuff in my Facebook. I never go in and look at it. He send me stuff all the time. I'm not looking at it. Crazy, man.
Yeah, that man ain't playing with a full deck, man.
Nah, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. But hold on. I do have to share this with y'all real quick.
Welcome to the Lion's Den. This episode of the Lion's Den is brought to you by Common Sense. I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. Also brought to you by Brew News, the Light Magazine. Shout out to Yah World 777, House of Redeemed Service, and my camp, FOPE, for our people's edification. Also, I want to give a shout out to Black Jesus Ministry and all the affiliates of the Lion's Den Debate League. It's a very important topic to me, and it needs to be addressed. You know, we're being labeled as terrorists, and it's a lie. I'm just gonna say that. But I also want to say we ain't just gonna lay down for anything. You see what I'm saying? Because like I said, they've been killing us for a long time. You know what I'm saying? They've been killing us. But we don't get no special parade. We don't get no mayor treatment coming out, saying how sorry he is. So, Jeremiah did it yesterday. I ain't gonna lie, I kind of celebrated a little bit for what the brother did. And I want to take that back. I want to give my condolences out to his family and everybody that died in the situation. But don't get it twisted. We are aware of what y'all have been doing to us. You see what I'm saying? And we don't, you know what I'm saying? We don't get the same treatment. So this is all I was trying to say to my people. That's all I was trying to say. But no, I want to say, look, I don't support terrorism, and Hebrew Israelites are not terrorists. You know what I mean? But if we look at the body count, look, if this was the scale, look, this us over here, down like.
You need to fix your blinds, yo. If that is your living room and your blinds that jacked up, won't you just go get some new blinds? They don't cost no more than $20 or $30.
Hey, Sean, look, you can tell he paranoid because look, you can see where he's flicking that one up, looking out the damn window all the time. He paranoid.
Yeah, what he gonna do with that machete, yo?
It's fine.
They way up there. So I don't understand why they feel that when one of them go down, it's so important. It's way more important. It needs to be recognized. But when it happened to us, it's hush hush. As a matter of fact, if you go look at the news, there's some white folks that been killing some cops.
Let's take in
This week, the past couple of weeks, they ain't said shit. Well, let's get to the program, y'all. And I want to give a shout out to Simon TV today and what he did. He put in, me and him had a conversation earlier. He said, Judah, the way you saying it, you can't say it like that. There's a certain way that you got to present the information. You see what I'm saying? And that's what he did today. I'm going to get ready to show you what Simon did. I'm going to show you. Shout out to Simon. So now we are seeing this extraordinarily. There you go. Let's stop. All right. To try to, that's why the Hebrews can say what they want to say when it's pertaining to that Bible. At one time, they're gonna come get us all. Sit your coon ass down, Garfield. Take your dumb ass back to Jamaica and coon over there, nigga. You don't see that? They smiling at the cameras. Come on, man. There you go. That's it right there. Same note. Stacy. How many of you know this brother? Go and look him up. 1919 in Arkansas. His name is Will Brown. Go look him up. Summer of 1919, riots broke out when mobs attacked blacks like in past years, top of years. Shalom, Ruben. Yeah. In 1919, this was the song they called the Red Hot Song. This the video he called Garfield a damn coon. Go and look him up. See, y'all don't know that picture. I see that picture. I know you only know this picture when I show you. The man, oh my God. That's Will Brown right there. Look at that. That's him. That's him before they burned him alive. That's terrorism. That's what your ancestors now. Before they burned him alive. See? Like I said, they've been terrorizing us for a long time. Angel Ramos. Our people have been terrorized for a long, long time. You see? But let one of them get how can I say in a politically correct way? Let one of them become deceased. They throw a whole goddamn parade, stop everybody, take off work. Well, they done lost one of theirs. Shut the city down, everybody. We done lost one of ours. We done lost one of ours. Shut the whole goddamn city down. Put out a terror alert. Put out a terror alert on the whole goddamn black community. But they've been doing these type of acts for generations. And like I to say. Now Garfield on the TV talking about, oh, this is the Hebrew Israelites' fault. They're gonna come get us all. Sit your coon ass down, Garfield. Take your dumb ass back to Jamaica and coon over there, nigga. Don't you worry about your people in Ghana. If they just got women in slavery right now, they practice slavery. It's called Trokoski. Look it up, Trokosi. Trokosi means a slave to the gods. Why don't you go and handle that shit over there? Cause the priest over there is raping 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds. But you got your mouth on us, the Hebrew Israelites. What about your goddamn people over there? I don't see you speaking about slavery is going on in 2019. They slaving women, they raping children, and it's pedophilia. Nigga, speak out on that shit. Sick of you, Garfield. Go and look him up. 1919 Will Brown and read. I gotta understand.
Hey, I'm gonna get like 2 more minutes of this, y'all.
Yeah, cause you killing me.
How you think we feel? All the terror y'all have done to us. They scared now, y'all. That is bullshit. Some people in a free society that anyone should have to feel that way from any faith, any background.
All right, look, I can't do it no more. I can't do it. Oh, man. All right, so let me just try to make some sense out of this show, man. Literacy is important, and trying to obtain what you need to obtain to comprehend, reading comprehension information. I know a lot of people rely on YouTube as a source for their information because they are ultimately limited on the amount of time that they actually can pursue knowledge. And it is our job and the affiliate families' jobs to provide the correct method, illustrate that method, demonstrate that method, and continue that method so that you guys can learn about certain topics, worldview, news, whatever, the right way. This speaks to the point of the ignorance in man, because you have people who have platforms in which anyone can create. And when they create these platforms, they create opportunities for people like a Jeremiah Judah to exist. He exists because social media is the land where you can be anything you want to be. But for those of us who are using social media as an outlet or an extension to reach the people that we can't reach, that are not a part of the research teams that we are a part of or affiliated with us, we try to provide you with these lessons that you could take back with you and watch throughout your day at work to pass your time, and also to share with your kids. People like Jeremiah are doing us a disservice. This goes back into a few months ago when I talked about what if Dr. John Henry Clark had the internet, Dr. Ben had the internet, John G. Jackson had the internet, Sheikh Intijop had the internet, Chancellor Williams had the internet. how would scholarship look for those that we respect the most? Schomburg, if he had the internet. Would he be the crazy man that he was with all of those thousands and upon thousands of books that he had? Would his house look like a freaking library and his wife wanted to get rid of him and the books if he had the internet? That's something that we all need to like really think about here. The ignorance in man. What are we promoting? What are we putting in front of our children's faces who will have access to this ignorance? And then how they will perceive it to be when they are trying to communicate with other people in a manner that they just saw or witnessed other people communicating. So I have a problem with the ignorance of men because it happens time after time after time after time again. And instead of it really being about scholarship and promoting scientific literacy and advancing knowledge how it's supposed to be about, it has become something else. It's monetized ignorance. You can get a check for being stupid. All you got to do is create a YouTube account and launch your stupidity all over social media. And maybe one of your videos will just go viral and then lead to other videos going viral. Then you can con the community out of whatever. I have a problem when your ignorance is displayed on multiple platforms and then you are not subjected to any clarification which is needed in how stupid you are to create a Facebook like page and call it what you call it and disrespect the culture and the people that you know nothing about. Absolutely nothing. And then you talk about the same few people that bang on your Bible, that have put you in your place several times before, and you try to use that as leverage against them to argue a whole point that has nothing to do with nothing. What book have you written, Jeremiah? What about an article? What about a presentation? YouTube lecturing is who's learning? What are we learning? What are the people that actually tune into your ignorance learning, your live streams?
Hey, Sean, I wouldn't even consider that a lecture. I call that a rant.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You know, I respect lectures, so you know,
yeah. You're right.
That's a YouTube rant. That's what he get on there and do. Because even in a lecture, you know, you got bullet points. He don't even got bullet points. He got just, I don't know. I ain't never really watched one, but just based off what I just seen, he just on there ranting and raving, man.
A lecture is educational. You learn something from it. This you ain't learning nothing. It's just pure ignorance. Dude, number one clout chase.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't argue with neither one of y'all. Y'all may corrected me. Thank you. I take that. You right. A rant is not a lecture. It's the ignorance of man. See, I think that the responsibility at that point then falls back on the listening audience and us to hold these type of people accountable for their ignorance. Like if you're going to go live and you're going to talk about something, at least make it a teaching moment for people to learn. If you're going to rant, if you're going to pull a Verstein on us and just rant your way into popularity, then, you know, hey, I understand that's the way that you only know how to use. social media, but the end game must be the listening audience, how we perceive that person or persons or platform to be. We have to be very honest in that, and we must deal with it accordingly. And if we don't, then we continue to open the door for people like him to exist and continue to emerge and get all the way in the way of what we're really trying to do as a people. So a lot of y'all may have heard Sebu Jawu talk about organizing the facts. And to be quite honest, in organizing the facts, people like that just can't be tolerated. Can't be tolerated. Straight clown. It's a joke. I mean, what more can we say about that? The display of ignorance was on 20 and it was laughable. But at the same time, it's that serious that we really need to take a good look at ourselves and say, hey, what is the value out of that? Because he's not the only one. There's others. But what kind of value are we going to get out of people like that? What do they bring us? What type of environment are they creating for us? Are we going to advance ourselves in their ignorance? Is there a teaching moment in anything that he said? I think the second video he came back and said Sonetta told him that he can't go on there and say the things that he was actually saying. There's a different way to go about it, and I'm gonna show you. But we don't even know if that approach is correct because I didn't watch the stream, so I can't really tell you exactly what he went about saying it. All I do know is when you do these type of things, you say these type of things, and then you come back and you're just showing what happened to us in history, you're playing on people's emotions, which is a fallacy, and we shouldn't play on people's emotions. What we should do is continue to teach. Let's deal with not only what Sonetta was attempting to do, but showing these people that were in these odd positions in history, but what led up to that, what drove that initiative. You know, it was more to that story than just this person and he was lynched outside, or that person and it was this, and this. There was some historical context that needed to go behind the clarifying. But you know, in all honesty, he meaning Sonetta will tell you that he is not a teacher. He's not lecturing. He does what he does. He tries to stay in his lane, but he's not ignorant or of any of the other stuff that's going on. He knows he's well aware of some of those things. And deal with it from there. Reading the chat real quick. Somebody talking about cooking, and all of a sudden Danny says he wants them to come do the cooking channel, come do a cooking show on MBK. All righty. So meanwhile, man, I'm just trying to give my 2 cents to what I see as an actual continuous problem. And I think that we should, our expectations should be as such. And, you know, if we're going to get serious about something and advance our people, we need to arm ourselves with the right tools to make those advancements. That means we need to recognize where we are at fault and we need to grow from that and then move in from there. Because if we do not do that, then we continue to sink the ship when we have been armed with the tools to actually stay afloat and advance. But I ain't gonna talk a whole lot all the time. I see Sabu Jawu slid in. If you want to open your mic, brother, the floor is yours. Or everyone else's. I'm on mute. Now, Kofi can't talk. He's obligated to just listening. So, Sabu, if you want to unmute, I see you moving your credentials around a little bit.
Okay, hold up.
There you go. I hear you.
Oh, no, I was just chiming in, trying to join the discussion. I saw the presentation earlier about the rock the bells. That was good.
Appreciate it.
And the bells. So I was wondering, but I missed what you were going, because I know you ended that one and started this one, but I didn't know who you were talking about. But it sounds like you're talking about Jeremiah Judah.
Yeah, I'll show you real quick.
Please don't. Please.
No. I mean,
He said, "No, I don't need to see it. I just
okay.
Who it was that you were talking about, and it just based on what you were saying, that's I could kind of figure that out. Yeah, so I don't, I'm just kind of chiming in on the conversation. I'm coming late to the party.
Well, he made a whole like page. He named it comedic unconscious coon something. I don't know. Just rhetoric, really. And in one of the videos, he talked about the Hebrew dude or dudes or whoever that was affiliated with the New Jersey situation. On the page, he had a bunch of memes that a lot of his Hebrew camp probably made about, Jabari, Garfield, a bunch of other people. Some of the other stuff, he's promoting his so-called debate league, which is really not a debate league. It's a group of individuals that like to stroke their ego, I should say, because I don't think any of them are structured enough to, teach. And I was saying how social media has given people opportunities to play these roles of ignorance and kind of slow down progression, so to say, because people are having to deal with the, stupidity a lot and the ignorance a lot, which is a major distraction, and that people need to be held accountable for, the parts that they play. Because if you don't give these certain people an audience, then they don't exist. And everybody should be held to some certain criteriums that allow us to be able to advance. Because it's 2020, we're running out of time. A lot of us, and we need to really continue moving things forward as far as knowledge and the way that we actually use it. So we need to look at how these platforms exist and what use do these platforms have in our daily lives. And we need to just see them for what they are. Pretty much.
Yeah, well, hey, man, I can't really add anything to that. I mean, I agree, 2020, because I've been saying it since forever at this point. So we'll just see. I think if everybody take responsibility for what they do and what they can do, then we just got to see what happens. But let me ask you this: how did you learn how the person Jeremiah Judah? Now I don't know him, and I never seen any of his videos, but how did you learn of him?
Oh man, YouTube.
Was it on a certain platform or you?
Yeah, certain platform. I think the first time I ever actually heard of him was he was trying to argue his belief on a particular platform, and then he was actually invited on to try to demonstrate that. And when he did that, he failed miserably. So he fought and fought and fought to get on other platforms, and he tried to use Facebook Live as an opportunity to argue certain things, which is simply not true. Um, and his Akashic Records, which is his notepad,
Mm.
and the notes that he says he takes from watching the YouTube videos kind of spawned his whole debate league.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I asked that question because if we were to just analyze, if we asked that question for everybody that's kind of like a figure in the so-called conscious community, and you trace that out, you'll start seeing some patterns. And then from there you can kind of see at least a direction towards a solution, you know. Um so that's the only reason why I asked that. Yeah. So a lot of people that fit that description of him and others or whatnot, they have patterns. And so what we say the definition of insanity is to do the same thing and expect a different outcome. So if we see a pattern and we don't change up anything, then nothing on the other side is going to change. So yeah, I don't have anything to really add to that. But yeah, I learned about Jeremiah Judah on Sonetta Studios.
Mm.
I know he was on Garfield's channel before too, or not even Garfield's channel. I think I've seen him on when Garfield went live one time. I think he brought Jeremiah Judah in his live. Like, you know how you can invite somebody on your live?
Yeah.
At that time, I think Garfield was sitting in the car and he invited him in to prove, something dealing with the Bible and stuff like that. I did see one of those. But I noticed he calls in on Sonetta's platform and everything like that. House of HOK. But that's what I'm saying. So either we're going to go into 2020 allowing these platforms to be pseudo manufacturing pseudos left and right, and then we're going to act like that's not what's going on. Then shame on us. You know what I'm saying? So people got to call it what it is. Some of these platforms are pseudo manufacturing platforms. They give a voice to any and everybody indiscriminately, and then all of a sudden we complain when they produce pseudos. So either I don't want to hear nobody complain about it or do something about it. And that's the thing. 2020, we're not getting any younger. We keep playing games. Our elders are passing away. Instead of, using what our elders, real elders, scholastic elders, they're passing away. Dr. Ben passed away. John Henry Clark passed away. They've been passed away for a while now, but as time goes on, the people that we would call our scholastic elders, they're passing away. So we're not getting any younger. So either we're going to continue to play these games and act like these people have a valid stance or valid voice or have the same weight as real scholarship, or we're going to do something about it, hold people accountable for it, and hold them to being responsible, and stop pretending like there's no elephants in the room and stuff like that. So 2020 should be different, and we're going to see. So that's all I want to add to it.
I really hope the 2020 be different. You said a key thing, tracing where a lot of these pseudos are popping up at, man. I mean, I don't see it changing. I mean, we already know one of the main platforms that birth a lot of these pseudos and gonna continue to birth a lot of these pseudos. And I keep saying, why do we keep supporting, you know, not just that platform, but it's other platforms too? We continue, it's our fault too, because I feel like the scholastic platforms or the scholastic groups, you know what I'm saying, they don't need this platform or other different platforms to go on They're their own household name. So, I don't understand why I keep running back over to these different platforms or this certain platform that births all of these pseudos. We gonna have to start being held accountable for. I took a stand in 2017. I took a stand on a platform. That's I just say it side of the TV. I took a platform. I said I'll no longer watch his channel, his platform, unless I'm in Rock Squad over there. Someone from Mossy over there, someone from NBK over there, and then at one particular time, I liked it, Brother Reggie. Still kind of like Brother Reggie a little bit. I don't like some of the recent stuff, but if I see a Brother Reggie on there, I'll check it out. Other than that, if it weren't those teams or that particular guy, then I wasn't gonna fool with it. Then 2018, I made another stand and said, okay, I can't just do that. I'm gonna have to, if I'm gonna stop watching it all the way, I'm just gonna have to stop watching it, even if it's my favorite groups that are on it or one of a person that I may like on it. I'm just gonna ban it all the way. If I'm gonna not ban it halfway, I'm just gonna ban it all the way. Even though me myself is not gonna stop that because I'm only one person, but I think that all of us need to, make a stand. You know what I'm saying? Until all of us make a stand, it's gonna continue to go on, and none of us need to complain about it when we see these certain or these new platforms that is birthed from this big platform that allows anybody to come on and say whatever they want to say, and do whatever they want to do. These fools that pop up on Facebook, you know what I'm saying, and then they get an opportunity to go on this platform, and then now they them sprung wings, and then now we complain about this individual, that individual, this platform. I just said, and I've been saying that we all gonna have to take a stand. We just gonna have to ban. My thing is death to all the pseudo platforms in 2020. I don't care what type of entertainment that they bring forth over there. When you see it, you don't click onto it. You know what I'm saying? Or just uh, unsubscribe from these platforms because we always complaining and complaining and complaining. And a lot of people I see, even in the chats, when I'm doing something, Sean doing something, or you doing something, Ujao, or any other platform that I particularly look at, which ain't many. If it ain't Demasi, if it ain't Seshu, if it ain't MBK, if it ain't Raw Squad, then I don't look at it. I just be honest with you. But a lot of the things I try to pay attention to some of the things in the chat, and you'll see people complaining and saying something, but these same people that complaining is still running over there to those platforms or the bigger platform, which is SA, and y'all still, in with the entertainment. Y'all still in with the BS. If y'all want to see progress, we gonna have to make a step. We all gonna have to make a step and say, hey, look, enough is enough. I'm not finna run over here. We gonna ban these channels and we gonna flood these other channels that has a control environment. These people is gonna bring you proper research methodology. These people are gonna give you the sources. These people's not gonna talk about your mothers and your family, and these people don't mind being corrected if they are in error for anything, man. But I just don't see it, man. I really don't. I don't see it, man. I don't see anybody taking a stand, you know what I'm saying, and banning these platforms. Stop supporting these platforms, man. We already know that it's detrimental to us, man. And you said a key word, Ujao. A lot of our real elderly scholars, is dying off, and I'm afraid that we have some scholars. We have yourself, Saber Wujao, some of us up and coming. I don't look at myself as a scholar or a teacher. I'll say I'm a teacher student or a student teacher. I'm still learning myself, but there are more scholars, there are more pseudos than there are other new scholars that are coming out, man. And I'm afraid that those people or the babies, that's the main thing. I'm scared that the babies are gonna come up and be enticed by a lot of the pseudo information that a lot of the pseudo entertainment platforms that are going on, and they're gonna think that it's okay not to, read books. They're gonna think it's okay not to vent information. They're gonna think it's um okay to long as you speak, speak with big words, or you speak eloquently, or you speak like you are intelligent, then it's okay to follow this type of way, information. It's okay to be lazy and look at I don't know, babe. Hold on, I'll find it. To look at YouTube videos and think that the YouTube videos are the primary sources. You see, so something needs to change. I mean, we just need to make a stand. Everybody just need to make a stand, man, and like I said, and ban these platforms, man, and stop supporting these platforms and stop giving these platforms your money. And the only way that the only way like it's gonna change is gonna have to change with us. Everybody's just gonna have to take a stand, but ain't nobody gonna take no stand, man. We just talking, and ain't nobody gonna take no stand. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna continue doing what I'm doing, and and I'm not gonna be entertained by these platforms. I'm not gonna click on these platforms. These platforms not gonna get my money. I don't care who on it. It can be my favorite scholar on there. I'm not clicking on it. I'll wait till they go back to their own platforms or on a platform that I respect and I can listen to and I can learn, and my family can go on, because my family wants to learn information too. They listen to me. My son listen to me, and I got plenty of information, but they want to look at other people too, and it's just hard for, and some of them platforms I'm just not gonna let them look at. I'm not gonna let them go on certain platforms and look at certain type of information. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not gonna do it, man. But that, let me stop.
Two things. One, to everything you said, we do have to take responsibility as well, or everybody that feels, a certain type of way, and we have to provide people with an option. And so, like, if you walk into a store and all you see are Nikes, then you have no choice but to choose Nikes or buy them. But when you walk into a store and you have Reebok, Nike, Adidas, New Balance, K-Swiss, Fila, and all these other types of shoes, at least you're providing the customers with an option. Okay. So until we provide an option, then people really don't have the right to complain too much. We can, people can voice what they say and things like that. But you know what I'm saying? So that is on the responsibility of people. Gotta create something. You can't take something from people without replacing it with something else. So that's one. And then two, our people, we need to understand the power of influence and how the nature of the human mind is very impressionable, from children on even adults. We're very impressionable. It's just that in children it's conscious, and in adults it's unconscious. We get easily impressed subconsciously or unconsciously through peer pressure, the pressure of the social environment. And and this is something that we once understood. We definitely paid attention to, focused on, and understood, where in certain communities a position of influence was heavily guarded. So our concept even today of celebrities in other cultures in antiquity, or in history in the past, um a position that would be equivalent to a celebrity was guarded. It was hard to achieve that. It wasn't just open for any and everybody. And like you said earlier, I think you or Sean said it, that the internet changed the game in that regards, because the internet and social media has opened it wide open for anybody to become a teacher, a so-called teacher, anybody to become a rapper, anybody to become a comedian, anybody to do whatever, because now everybody is accessible to each and everybody. No, there's no hierarchy or no filtration process, for that. And then people become impressionable because it's in our nature to be impressionable. And so if we really understood that, then we wouldn't be a platform that just allow any and everybody to come on and then impress a wide audience. We would give everybody a shot, but not everybody a accessible shot. So behind the scenes, we want to see, because you don't want to leave anybody out, and we don't know who knows what. So yes, you're supposed to vet people. You're supposed to test people out, vet people. Because I guarantee you that, look at these talk shows. In order to get on a talk show, you best believe the producers, the director, the CEOs and all those people, they're going to vet their guests. They're not going to let any Tom, Dick, or Harry come on a talk show like Oprah or whatever these shows are. There's a rhyme or reason. There's PR people that connect with each other, talk to each other. They work out the backgrounds and stuff like that. There's certain PRs, there's certain companies that before you get on that show, they're going to ask you, what is your Facebook account name? What is your Instagram account name? And guess why they ask you that? They're going to check on you, see what kind of things you post, see what kind of followers you got, and this, that, and the third. So it's always a filter process. And so when we indiscriminately allow any and everybody on these platforms, we are going against what we once knew better to do. We know the frailty of the human mind and how impressionable we are as a people. All you got to do is have the gift of gab, and whatever you come out your mouth is law, regardless of the accuracy of it or not. We know this. And so for us to indiscriminately allow any and everybody to say whatever, that is irresponsible. And so that's how we got to look at it. But at the same time, on the flip side, we got to provide options, like I was saying. And if we don't do that, then, we just part of the problem as a whole. So in 2020, I would like to see more options out there. People putting together presentations, sharing information, cut out the fussing. Stop calling these fussing matches debates. That's not what they are. They're not debates. They're just fussing matches. People, you never debate people. You debate issues. And that's what kills me when people say so-and-so is against so-and-so, or I'm going to put so-and-so in the ring with so-and-so. That's not a debate. That's a Roman gladiator type of mentality of putting two people together and just having them bang out something for entertainment purposes. That's exactly what they do in Gladiator and Rome and stuff like that. But yet we're supposed to be hating the white man and this and that when we're behaving and doing things exactly like that. So no, we need to guard celebrityship, guard the influencing positions, and provide alternatives. That's what should be on the on the table for people to do. I see Black Lion said Oprah would have the biggest pseudos on earth on her show. Yeah, I only brought up Oprah, or any talk show really, but I brought up Oprah because she's popular and I know everybody know her name. But I wasn't talking about them blocking pseudos or not. I'm talking about the process of getting on the show. They don't just walk outside and scream, "Who want to be on my show?" You know what I'm saying? Or how many people beg? How many people try to get on Oprah that get turned back? So my point is that there's a process. That's my point. There's a filtering process, whatever that is. I don't know. I'm not there, but there is a process. You know what I mean? That goes for pretty much all these talk shows. I deal with PR people. I know PR people that do that line of work, and they'll tell you,
So, Kofi, we just have to accept the fact that some things aren't going to change unless the people change. So we have to put the onus back on the people. This small community that we have of people who's supposed to be like-minded, if we can't organize our small group of supposed to be like-minded individuals, then they're just going to continue to drive the way that they're driving, for the simple fact that a lot of them have now created these avenues of opportunity, financial benefits for them now. So I think that you call yourself woke, you call yourself conscious. I think those are jokes. Uh, when I hear people say that, because the misinformation begins when you say that you're conscious or woke. What are you conscious of? And then you start telling me about Buddhism, Hinduism, and Catholicism, and all of these other things, but not understanding the question that I just asked because you just went in a whole nother direction. So I think that the people that go on these platforms and give these I don't rants or lectures or whatever it is that draws a large crowds, the audience has to, and not the small, because if you go and you look, some of the people that's in our chat right now be the ones that end up getting blocked on other people's platforms, muted out, and then are unable to even ask questions to the people there. But we need more intellectual people that are willing to draw the line in the sand and differentiate the ignorance from the education. And then we just need to build there because nobody else is going to advance from a so-called SETI to, and I'm saying a so-called SETI because every last person that I've had conversations with, when you either start listening to or tuning into in the last 5 years, at some point, SETI was the rah-rah guy. He was the proponent for getting the dude or the female on the street corner interested in knowing more about who they are. And then from there, you would go to another, I like this particular person, or, this particular person is creating some information. And then from there, you would grow into something else. That's how my process was. Really, what I'm saying is that, people be like, you dissing all of these other people. I'm not necessarily dissing them. I just matured and graduated from them. And I think we've heard Sebu Jawu say before, like, even though you don't agree with a large portion of what someone is saying in particular, but these other people are needed to grab the attention of the other people. But at that time, then, the process and learning needs to change and recognize in the listening audience to know that they need to evolve from certain things and grow from that. Like, some people are still stuck on 2015, 16 SETI in 2020. I mean, in 2019 going into 2020. And nothing has changed in him at all. Not his information, his talking points, the way he lectures or presents information. So you're stuck. And you don't have any room to grow because you won't even put yourself in a position to advance knowledge. So then you'll go and you'll go where he became popular, and you'll tune into a bunch of what some call pseudos, not in the derogatory sense, but in the scientific definition sense of people who mix falsehoods and truths and give them to you as an alternative and make it sound like it's facts. And you tune into those people, and then you become personality worshipers. And then it goes back to 2017, or Saber Wudrawa, I think it was 2017, dropped the line, people are changing clothes without bathing. You see what I'm saying? So from the last few years, like you've always said, Sam, you've always said you could have had a degree within the last 4 years of what actually has taken place with some of these people and some of these channels. So if you haven't seen growth in Kofi, Satep and Ra, Sutek, myself, Sabu Jawu, which sets a high standard, so we really don't even really need to mention him, and other people, then you need to hold us accountable for not growing because you're not growing. But you're tuned in to what we're presenting on the screen and what we're talking about and what we're building on and things of that nature. But you don't see any growth from us. Then we're keeping you stuck, which means you stuck, your daughter or son is stuck, their daughters and sons will be stuck. Then we can't advance any community. So I think that, yeah, Kofi, this is a long battle. I just think that the pseudos and, well, the pseudo information and Dr. Ben and Dr. Clark and John G. Jackson and Chancellor Williams and all the esteemed elders, the ones that we know that actually did some real work, they didn't, though the people that were disingenuous in their information just didn't have the platforms then because the internet didn't exist, but they were there. And so I don't see the pseudoscience going anywhere. We just have to hold people accountable, the listening audience accountable for being able to raise their intelligence up and advance their intellect. And if they don't want to advance their intellect, then we just deal with the people who want to advance the intellect.
Yeah, they just have to stop. You know, that's what I'm saying. They have the listening audience. They have to stop being lazy. That's why they go to these platforms, and we have to get out. I know it's hard to get out of the mindset because a lot of the people that is in the so-called conscious community, and you see in a lot of these pseudo platforms, um, they come from being Christians and they come from um, being Muslims, you know. So when you look at it, a lot of, and I'm just going to speak for the Christians. I have never um, been inside of mosques while they was having service. I done been to a few mosques, but I never been to a mosque service when we deal with um, Islam. But I have been to a lot of different churches and a lot of different denominations within Christianity in the churches. And a lot of Christians are just plumb lazy. And that they are bringing that same mentality over into the conscious community. You mad now at the churches? Okay, the churches lied to you, blase, blase. So now you're trying to come over because you're trying to understand your you're trying to you want to understand your culture. You understand certain things that is going on now, but you bring in that lazy mentality over where I call it parakeeting. And what I mean by parakeet, a parakeet says one thing, and I mean you say one thing, and a parakeet repeats what you saying. If you know mostly if you know a lot of Christians, like I'm from the South. I'm from Mississippi. So in Mississippi, it is the South is the Bible Belt. So majority of the people want you to think one way, and that is to be a Christian, to be saved, to accept Jesus as your Lord, Christ, and Savior. So a lot of people that I am encounter with, they parakeet what they have heard in the churches, what the pastor says. Long as the pastor speak with good rhetoric, he speak like he's highly intelligent, and he's coming in the and he's mentioning he's coming in the name of God, or God using him as a vessel, and he is now teaching and giving you his interpretation and telling you this is the way you're supposed to live because God told him this is the way you're supposed to live. The book says this and that. And we never go back and verify what the pastor is actually saying. We never go and look in the Bible, and we never read and try to see to verify what he's saying is actual or or not, or thorough research to see what he's saying is actual or not. It sounds good, so, and he sounds like he's intelligent, so therefore it must be law. It must be actual fact. So that is what the same thing I see in the conscious community. A lot of people in a what's the name, they are not learning a damn thing. They're not learning nothing. They're listening, like you saying this uh, 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 um, worship, where they're worshiping a personality. So now they are worshiping this personality, and they are repeating and regurgitating a lot of the same crap that a lot of these pseudos are saying. And some of them is just not learning anything in the context. I mean, learning anything on any of these platforms. They's on there to troll. They on there to pick up information. Because I guarantee, if we was to give a lot of the listening audience tests, they probably would fail miserably. Because a lot, especially on our platforms, because we have some that'll listen. We have some that won't listen. They just they on the platform in the chats just cause somebody else is in the chat forum. They being noses, but they not and not paying attention to what we got going on. Then they eventually leave because we're not being entertained. So they go to the pseudo platforms over there where they're being entertained, and it's no more form of me trying to educate myself. Now it's in the form of I have to be educated. So now it's all about entertainment over education. So no one is being educated over here in the community. So a lot of, again, we have to again hold our own selves, what I'm saying, accountable. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying the people that's in the chat that's watching now, those that are on those different platforms, you have to hold yourself accountable, for the things that are going on. And again, and I'm gonna say it again, until everyone makes a stand, it's going to keep going on. So I don't want to hear people complaining about this and that if you're not going to take a stand. If you're going to take a stand, then you have a right to complain, because now you have taken a stand, and now you're trying to fight back against a lot of the foolishness that is going on. And illiteracy at its all-time high. That's what I see. I may be wrong, but that's what I see. And I see if
Kofi,
we
you
don't
arrogant.
I'm arrogant.
Yeah, you arrogant.
Nah, I'm not arrogant.
That's what they're gonna say.
Nah, I'm not arrogant. I'm telling the truth.
But what's missing is that in the examples that you gave, Sean, and what you were saying, Kofi, what's missing is an institution or institutions, plural.
Right.
Because there are levels to this, and everything in terms of pedagogy is done in a structured incremental steps. If you look at how children are taught, how adults are taught, everything is done in incremental steps. And so you always have an entry level to anything. And at the entry level, things have to be taught a certain way because it's the entry level. And there's a weeding out process. You have to meet people where they are when they're first introduced to things. And so you have people that are good at that, and that they themselves, that's their niche, where they are entry level people. You mentioned Sarasu and Seti and people like that. Those are people who speak the lingo of people that are on the streets. He could successfully and effectively wake somebody up who is from that kind of environment, street environment. They're used to him talking loud and being real animated and cursing and bang on the cracker, bang on this, bang on that, and this, that, and other. People may gravitate towards that. But the problem is, this is not institutionalized, where it becomes a method to the madness, where people think that that's it. So they follow him, and they think that that's it, but not realizing that, hey, that's just an entry level situation going on there. Once you get introduced and you saturate yourself with that, now go to the next, and go to the next. See, we don't have that going on in the community. We think that all these people are equals, and we don't have no structure with it. And that's what I'm saying. We have to fault ourselves. We are our own worst enemy by not doing that. And so that's just something that people have to understand, because there's a place for all of this, but we have to call it what it is and identify it properly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, even the House of Consciousness platforms, be it Sonetta Studios or Black News 102 or whatever the case is, those Sonetta has worked his behind off to build that platform and that attraction. But now the question is, okay, now what? Now that it has the attention, now it become a focal point and whatnot. Now what? And so we got to be honest in our analysis of these things and act accordingly, make these adjustments and things. And so some of it's being handled irresponsibly, giving everybody a voice, knowing that you got a whole bunch of pseudos being manufactured out of that or whatever the case is, and back and forth. And when people say it, then it's like, okay, it's in denial. So we're not being honest, and we don't have these institutions set up. And so that's a big problem that needs to change. That has to change. And then also, like I said before, we have to provide options. People, I see True Story in the chat, and he said this before too, and we all know this very well, that the truth is boring. Lecturing, and this is college. Anybody who's been to college, they know that in a 16 credit semester, you got to go to your lecture halls, right? But then they have study groups after the lecture. So when you go to your lecture hall, man, you're sitting, I know at University of Maryland, I'm sitting in a movie theater style big auditorium type room with 299 other people. So it's like 300 of us in a classroom, in an auditorium style classroom, where the professor is standing in the front lecturing. He don't know anybody's name unless you eventually get to know them, but he only knows you by your social security number. He don't know your name, nothing. He's just lecturing and this and that. You're supposed to take notes, and people record or do whatever they do. Then afterwards, you go to a smaller size class with a TA or an assistant or whatever. Then you have your questions and your more intricate discussions. So there's always a lecture, then a discussion. That's the style, and that's the basic format of this teaching thing. And a lot of people have not experienced that or go through that. So they say, it's just boring. You know what I'm saying? It's boring. I need to be entertained. So we need to be bombarded by entertainment all the time. We got to be stimulated all the time. And that's not cool. And so people, so it's a compromise. It's a challenge for us to balance it out. We have to be a little entertaining, and a lot of teachers know how to do that. You teach information, but you keep it interesting, and that takes skill. That takes some creativity and some skill to be able to do that. And so we got to work on that and just change it for 2020, and bring it back. Because if we don't, man, I'm telling you, people better just throw in a towel, go to Disney World, sip some tea, and just chill and just give up. Because if we don't make a change, then can't spend another year saying the same old on both ends. You know what I mean? So but now our job is hard though, because in every situation, the ratio is going to be lopsided at all times, which means that on this side of things, we're smaller, so we have to be more potent. So we have to have quality over quantity. Whereas on the other side, they have quantity over quality. And we always have to remember that that's what we're up against. The only way we're going to balance it out is that we have to be potent in everything we do. And so that's why, I say what I say and I mean what I say. I've been consistent what I'm saying. There's a lot of elephants in the room, and things have to change. It has to be a paradigm shift. We got to call things what they are. We got to quit with the misnomer. Stop calling these debates. They're really just fussing matches for entertainment purposes and keeping the attention and keeping things rolling and stuff like that. But it's not really conducive for learning. That's not a learning environment. That's why everybody's on edge. That's why you can't even correct somebody without somebody getting pissed off and feel like they're being attacked because the environment created that feeling. We can't even correct elders. People getting thinking you're attacking elders and not even here anymore. We can't just correct and say, okay, Dr. Ben, as great of an elder and scholar as he was, and his works are still available, he made a mistake by saying the Egyptians said that they come from the foothills of the mountain of the moon, where the god Happy dwells, blah blah blah. That's not found in the papyrus of Hunefer. We can't even say that without walking on eggshells and people getting upset. about that, because you got personality worshiping and all that going on mixed in, put in the mix. So a lot of that stuff has to be cut out. So anyway, so I'm saying, like, you know, I've been seeing improvement on the part of others. You know, I know MBK did a video that I saw on the channel about this is a little while back, about what's his name, Noble Drew Ali. And I was like, see, that right there, where you walk through information, you slow it down. You got to stop this microwave stuff and put it back in the oven. We gotta go conventional oven style now, and leave the microwave alone. When you slow the conversation down, you put a couple of speed bumps in there, and you walk through information. And slowly people are going to get used to that again, because right now that kind of stuff is boring. And I know all the best, because, you know, I get long-winded like I am right now. And then I slow the conversation way down. People ask me a question, I would dissect the question before I even begin to even think about answering. But that's how we got to do it, because there's a lot of assumptions that are made, and people go too fast with these conversations. Like, well, I don't get into that. So that's it. Yeah, I know me. I can ramble on, because I'm looking at the chat. I'm reading some things in the chat. Like, let me just say this, because I saw an earlier question, right? Who was it? Man, I think I lost it. I remember the question, but I forgot who said it, who asked it. Well, they asked about metaphysics.
I think that was Zane. I think that was.
Okay, Zane. That's Kadeem. All right. I lost the question, but it was something along the line of metaphysics, who teaches it or something, man.
Yeah. Zane asked, what's the point in teaching people metaphysics?
Oh, right. Okay. See, now, okay, so that is an issue, because there's nothing wrong with metaphysics. But in this environment, metaphysics has become associated with pseudoism. But metaphysics is a branch of philosophy, under which is ontology, and ontology is a very, very important subject to discuss and study. Ontology and taxonomy. If people were to really study those two things, a lot of these arguments would probably be diminished, because they would understand. So there's nothing wrong with real metaphysics, the discipline of metaphysics and things, but metaphysics, the way that it's being handled in our communities, is something different. You know, so we associate that with pseudo and stuff. And again, people who are not qualified have been set up, whether it's themselves or others, to be at the forefront, and then that becomes the norm, and that's all people know. So by time people come at the beginning stages and bump into the SETIs and all that kind of stuff, and I don't say that derogatory, because the SETIs are necessary, because I'm not going to be out there talking that talk like that. That's not my lane. So, but somebody has to do it. So SETI's the one to do it. Bam, he does it. He's good at it. So if somebody runs across a person like Sarasu and SETI, and they introduce and they go through that, then they need to bump it to another level. They need to be greeted, and something needs to be there for them. But what happens is people set themselves up, and that's what they think, that all there is to it. Like, that's all there is. That what SETI talks about, and in the pictures and the comparison stuff like that, that they think that's it, because we don't have nothing in place that shows them, no, it's steps to this, there's levels to this, you know. And it's not like it's one higher than the other, as in belittling. It's just that there are differences in the way you teach and the method and how you teach. Same thing with children. Like, I can teach a child about the human immune system, and I can teach an adult about a human immune system. But I guess what? I would not teach the child the same way I would the adult. Period. That's just a natural thing. You just don't do that. You know, and so there's levels to this, and that's what we have to respect and understand, and set things up so that we can, you know, make progress. You know what I'm saying? So we have to really, really understand. Oh, and I see people put Gano Grills. Man, listen, y'all, let me tell you, I did not know Gano Grills had a YouTube page until the other day. Somebody sent me a link and I clicked on it. I still had no idea. I clicked on it because it said Galacticus on it. And I was like, what is Galacticus? It sounded like Galacticus. Because, you know, I'm a comic book person. So I'm like, Galacticus? Like, what's going on? So I click on it and it's Gano Grills. It's obviously, I guess, his channel. And he calls himself Galacticus. And I clicked on one of the videos. Boy, I'm telling you, man. I clicked on it. I said, this cannot be serious. Like, this has to be a parody channel, like parody or comedy. And I'm looking at how many subscribers and the comment stuff. I was like, man, these people really believe this stuff. So I was blown away. I was blown away. But that's where the thing is. I'm amazed. Like, you know, people are gonna do what they do. We're all adults. Everybody has a right to do and say what they want. But my concern is when we see so many people influenced by this stuff. That's what's alarming to me. And that's where my focus is and my concern, not really with the person, the single person, but it's the influence and how many people buy into certain things. And so again, I got to look at myself and say, wait a minute, well, Jao, are you providing an option for these people? And if I have to say yes or no, and if the answer is no, then I need to check myself. But if I am, then that's what I need to be doing. Provide an option and just do my best. Because you know, like they say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So we better get on the ball of leading these horses to water and hope that they will drink. And that's it.
What frustrates me is I don't think it shouldn't, you know, it shouldn't be an excuse anymore. What I'm saying, it shouldn't be an excuse anymore is you say it's levels. You know what I'm saying? And you mentioned the word levels, you mentioned the word options. I can remember when I first got introduced, I remember when I started questioning a lot of things and I really didn't know where to turn to. And I had a discussion with a brother on Facebook, really persuaded me to start looking more into information when I was actually on a Masonic site and I was arguing with another Masonic brother over Moses being in Egypt. But anyway, I got exposed to someone put me on to Sarnetta's channel, and then someone put me on to Sarah Seti. And I began to watch Sarnetta TV every day. Stop watching TV, period. Sarnetta TV was every day. I looked at a Sarah Seti video every day. And at this particular time, you know, I thought this was the end all be all at this particular time. I looked at Sa and I thought, man, I'm learning. Man, this is, but a lot of that stuff as I began to study on my own, I began to purchase books. I started to understand what research was, what is the methodology behind research, all these different things. I started to be like, wow, was I really looking at those type of things? But even before then, it was no options. It was no options. And it was no option. There was at that time in 2011, there was no Seshuma Ani Metanetra. There was no Amun Ra Squad. There was no Masa Warrior Clan. There was no New Black Knowledge. There was none of these options where it was people taking information and scholarship serious, and they had these serious platforms where it was controlled environment, and they was teaching, as like y'all said, in a professional level. Like you go to these different colleges, it's a lecture, and then after the lecture it's a discussion. After the lecture, after the professor get through with his lecture, he's open it up for the floor and everybody have a discussion off the information that they're seeing. There are sources, and you know, and at this particular time, there was nobody doing sources at this time. Every few, I think the only person at that time I can remember was Shaka Utmost. That's where I got a few of my books from, looking at his videos where he would pull out these books, but it was really no such thing as sources. I mean, so we didn't have these options. So in the last, I'm gonna say in the last 5 to 6 years, there are a plethora of platforms out there where we have an option. At a particular time, we didn't have these options, so it was these people was be end all be all. This is all that we know. But now we have these platforms at our hands, and we not using it to the best benefit. I mean, to our best benefit. You know what I'm saying? We still running over here to these pseudo platforms, and these pseudo platforms is not producing none. You made a key, and we mentioned this on another show that we did. I can't even think of the name of it. Other what's name, but we was had this kind of same conversation. No, it was a show that I did, was asking, are we really learning from the conscious community, and is the conscious community producing anything in some of that in that thing? So we need, like you said, we need institutions. We these pseudo platforms only got one benefit in mind, and that is to align their pockets. You know what I'm saying? They don't care nothing about the people. You know what I'm saying? They don't care nothing about bringing true information. It's all about putting money in their pocket. And the platforms or the options that we have now, most of these platforms that is in the control environment that are serious about scholarship, they don't have they're not making money off of it because they have their own lanes where they're making money, where they're able to support their support their families. They don't have these super chats. They don't have these PayPal accounts. They not putting on event after event trying to make some, put some money um into their pockets. So I just feel like it's no excuse now. It's no excuse for us to still be uh in the old age. I'm gonna just say the old age where we continue doing the same thing over and over. No one is learning anything. We still not producing a damn thing. We don't have any types of institutions anymore. We think it's about the rah 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 rah. We think it's about the back and forth with the fussing, the fussing and the cussing with these so-called debates, but we not getting anywhere, man. So, like I said, again, we got to take a stand, and we have plenty of options now. It's no excuse. Excuse. You can dead those other channels. Go to a session. I guarantee you gonna learn something. We go to a Master Warrior Clan. Go to a Amun Ra Squad. Go to a New Black Knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You just gonna have to learn some discipline where it's not gonna be no foolishness on it. You gonna learn something. You just gonna have to pay attention, take your tablets out, you know what I'm saying, and get your mind off of being entertained. Be educated or get much information as you can, and then, go and be entertained. There's nothing with being entertained, but then go be entertained. Go, go be with your family. Go watch some TV afterwards. But it's no excuses, man. It's just no excuses. Again, like I said, when I started out, there was no option. There was none of these other platforms, but we got these platforms in our hands now. So we need to use these platforms at our benefits, man. And again, I'm done. But 2020, death to all the pseudo platforms. Death to all the pseudo platforms.
Boy, they gonna come for you, Kofi.
I honestly, I don't care, say, but I mean, I don't care. I used to try to be what they call political correct and don't say nothing about such and such name, but I'm just tired of tiptoeing around the tulips, and it's just sad, man, and what makes it like it makes it hard for me because I mean it makes me sad because we have these options at our hands now, but we're not using these platforms. These platforms that are serious about what they doing, man, and it's serious about waking our people up. You know what I'm saying, or educating. Because Brother Mathis was like, we trying to be educated, we trying to learn. You don't have to go to those platforms. You have an option. Like I'm saying, go to Seshuma Ani Meta Nature. If you hadn't subscribe to that channel. You hadn't subscribed to the Masu Warrior Clan, subscribe to the Masu Warrior Clan. If you don't know nothing about the Masu Warrior Clan or the Seshuma Ani Meta Nature, subscribe to the New Black Knowledge MBK channel. So and a few other channels that I may be not thinking of at this time. But I'm a Raw Squad. If you don't know anything about the I'm a Raw Squad, subscribe to the I'm a Raw Squad. You know, these are options if you want to learn in a controlled environment where you won't have to worry about a lot of the antics, a lot of the foolishness, a lot of the back and forth, a lot of someone trying to pin another person against another person for view. You won't have to worry about all of that, man. And I don't care about none of them coming from me because I don't pay no attention to none of them. And if they do say something about COVID pots, I won't hear about it unless somebody in the family tell me about it. Other than that, I don't tune in to none of those other platforms. I don't know what they got going on, but I know they still doing the same thing they was doing in 2000, especially the big platform that I'm talking about. We're dealing with Sign of the Studio. He's doing the same thing he was doing when I got introduced to him in 2011. It's time to evolve and change. Sean mentioned that. It's time to mature. It's time to evolve, and those channels have become kiddie channels to me. I mean, those are kiddie channels to me.
Kofi, we have to also we have to delegate some of that responsibility back to the listening audience because they're not allowing him to advance and grow because folks are not demanding. You don't have 900 folks tuned into real scholarship. They don't know what it looks like or how it should be. They don't know that, in order to how to properly debate, that the two people that's supposed to be debating something first need to agree on specific topics, provide written context or written work on the said subjects, and then they can kind of counter each other's argument going forward. They don't know some of the things that were actually mentioned to them because that process has been microwaved in the street rap battle confrontation style perspectives have streamed into these supposed to be intellectual conversations. And man, if you got 900 people going over there and they are, or 1,000 or 4,000 people on a live stream and they are going ham in the chats, demanding more from these people, right? Demanding more from these people than the person that is streaming the channel, i.e. a Sonetta, would then look at that and be like, okay, it's time to raise the bar. But until then, he gonna keep the bar where he got the bar at because you have people that are so in tune to that because they like love and hip hop consciousness.
That bar is mighty low. That bar is mighty low.
Yeah. Well, hey, you got to know who's he. Listen, man, for anybody to think they going to astro project to Kemet and back and then go to the 26th galaxy and find a cure for AIDS and then come back and give it to everybody, people like that. Man. So we got to.
Somebody said it good in the chat. Be the change you want to see, and that's the motto. I know I personally take that to heart. I try to be the best example. I have children. I know a lot of people have children, and as a parent, you should be that way by default. Be the change you want to see. So you got people that count on you, look up to you. Same way with in our community here. It's one thing to point out the problems because in order to have a solution, you have to first accurately identify problems. But then at the same time, we can't spend year after year after year complaining about the same problems. So we better, as we say, demonstration beats conversation. So instead of having these conversations about it all the time, we need to demonstrate. And so that's what I meant by provide options for people. And so we got to, put fire up under ourselves and provide these options for people so they can see a variety. Because what's going to end up happening is it's going to be an issue of the clean glass next to the dirty glass. So all we got to do is create a clean glass of water and put it up against the dirty glass, because if all you see is a dirty glass of water, it's just going to be water to you. But until, because you may not even know it's dirty until you put a clean glass. And I'm sure everybody's been through this. You ever wear a white shirt and you wear it at home, you look in the mirror, it's white, and you think it's white. You go outdoors, it's a white shirt. But you go into a you go into a department store in your what you thought was your white shirt, and you walk in a department store under those long fluorescent lights and stuff like that, and you walk past a mirror and you look at your shirt, you're like, man, I thought this shirt was like white, crisp white.
Look like
But
butter.
but yeah, look, you're like, man, my white shirt is a little dingy. Or you see a brand new white shirt hanging on a clothes rack, and you look at your shirt you thought was white. You're like, man. But my point is, you don't know how dirty something is sometimes until you have something that you can compare it with. And so if we don't build up the comparison, then we have no right to complain or to continue to complain. And so that's what we should be on in 2020. I know we pointed out issues. I've done it consistently for the longest time. But if we don't set up the options, then at a certain point we might as well throw in the towel. Cause I'm gonna start calling everybody pseudo. Like, for example, Unc opens every live he does. He has this famous opening that everybody probably memorized by now. He says, "A well-organized lie defeats a disorganized truth every time." Ooh wee. Man, y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what it is. It's the God killer. He got that whole thing, right?
Standing tall, standing strong.
Yeah. Gotta do what I gotta do, because I gotta do what I gotta do.
do.
Exactly. But this is
It's
the thing.
catchy though.
Yeah, I like
Yeah, it is. You're right. It's catchy. But this is the thing. Now, even with that saying, excuse me, even with that saying right there, we can say it so much that we become numb to it, because we say it, but then we lose the fire to do something about it. And so if you really think about it, a well-organized lie defeats a disorganized truth every time. Ooh wee. If you were to just take that sound bite, that can go either way. And this is what I told Uncle on his last show. It's funny, but it's real. You can take that sound bite and go either way with it, because you can make it sound like he's cheering on the pseudoism, the well-organized lie, because it's like saying a well-organized lie is defeating that disorganized truth. Ooh wee, yes.
And you know what? When I first heard that, that's exactly how I thought too. I thought that.
Exactly. Or we can flip it like how it's supposed to be, done or perceived as a problem. Like, that's a problem. So ooh wee is a reaction to the problem, not cheering it on. But it could be taken either way. But my point though is that we better organize the truth this year. And that's why I'm encouraging everybody, people like True Story, and I'm not gonna point any elbows, but True Story is Danny, MBK. I don't mean to point any elbows, but people like Garfield, I can point any elbows, who have excellent and very good information, but we need to start writing books and document this information. And I know Garfield is coming out with his book very soon, which is really good, man. I'll be happy to see that. Hopefully, True Storian, in information that's been kicking on MBK and everybody else, not just True Storian, but everybody who contribute to that. I just hear him talking on a couple of the videos that I saw. That it just needs to be organized, because if we don't, man, I'm gonna start calling. Come the end of this year, if I don't see that, I'm gonna call everybody pseudo. Everybody pseudo, except for me, of course. But I'm just saying, we better get it together, or just shut up. As they say, oh man, it's a female comedian that recently said something. Hold on, let me see. You know what? And I saved it. I saved this thing. Yeah, here she is. Her name, Jennifer Lewis. Y'all know who that is? The actress comedian, Jennifer Lewis. If y'all saw her picture, you would know. And I don't have it to show it. But anyway, this is a quote from her. she's like a female version of Red Fox a little bit, and like Richard Pryor a little bit, not as crude, whatever, but she reminds me of that. Like she keeps it real and stuff. But anyway, here's a quote. She says, "You sit in shit too long, it stops smelling." And that's what we're facing. Like we're in this so much that we become numb to it. You know what I mean? And so we better change it. We better change the situation. And I we could clean that up and say, if you wear too much perfume or cologne, you no longer smell it because it's on you. We could switch it if we don't want to talk about shit. But that's the point. The point is we better do something about it, or else I'm calling everybody pseudo.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm calling them pseudo already because I mean, you hear people talking about particular topics, and then they'll go and tune into certain people who are just spewing misinformation. Like, why even give them the time of day to even pay attention to what they got going on, and then inform everybody else about it? Like, don't keep me in the loop of stupidity because I don't want to be a part of it. Like I said, my path is a little bit different, so I'll be the arrogant person any day. I think that, and this is just a fact, that I put a lot of time in reading a lot of books, watching a lot of lectures and teaching moments that people have put before me and have introduced me to sit back and then somebody, try to dumb down, belittle, or minimize what I've actually come through, gone through. So when you then say you sound arrogant, or you sound you don't know how to convey something to someone else, first you have to understand that I already advanced beyond where you are, but I'm not belittling you. I'm simply saying that if I challenge myself to go and seek the information in which I had questions about, I didn't ask a lot of questions in YouTube chats. The only time that you see me asking a bunch of questions was on the SESU channel when I first got introduced to the SESU, and I was following along, but I had a huge interest in trying to learn what they were doing. When I was introduced to the SESU originally, when I first came in, I was tuned in every 2 shows. I had bought the book, all the whole nine, signed up for the class, the whole nine, because I had an interest. What I'm saying is, people don't even do that. They're not tuned in to learn. They're not buying the books. They're not genuine in their line of questioning. So when someone responds and it sounds like someone's being arrogant to you, it's because I know that you're not coming from a place of actual interest. Because if you were interested in knowing what was going on with these topics, you would have taken the time out to go directly to the people that were actually mentioning in the conversation, i.e. Saber Wujawu, and others, i.e. the Seshu Mani Meta Nature. You would have tried to locate them and get clarity on your questions. Not ask them in some chat room or come in on a link and ask these questions just because you want to ask these particular questions. You really don't have an interest. So yes, I'm going to sound like I'm very arrogant and or cocky when I see you asking or hear you asking these questions. Because that ain't where you go to get your answers. Because the answer might be way too long for other people to not even want to bear or listen to. They want to move on. They don't want to slow the conversation down and actually use it as a teaching moment to educate you properly upon the subject matter. So like I said, the accountability then goes back to the seriousness and the intent of your question. Now, had anyone, you'll see people in the chat room asking questions. You'll see Jolanda, Sister Jolanda ask questions. When she asks questions, she's really interested. Why? Because she's involved with every aspect of all the people who are actually teaching her things, and she's going back behind the scenes. She's in study groups. She's signed up for classes. She's got books that she's invested in. You know, she's part of the book clubs. Like, by the way, shout out to Dr. Maat. She's February 2nd. They're going back live with the book club. The first book up is Powernomics by Paul Anderson.
Yes, sir.
So if you got that book, go subscribe to Dr. Oya Maat's YouTube channel. Be a part of the book club. It's going down. They're continuing the book club. Most people don't even know about the book club. How and you know, and we be promoting it and sharing that information on Facebook all the last couple of years. But that's also vital to our learning process,
Right.
which means we're creating alternatives, but people just have to be conscious of it and get to it. And I think that like the major platforms, so to say, they should be big up in that, because you don't have no other channels that I know of that are having these book clubs and having these weekly discussions centered around particular chapters and helping people kind of organize that and get through books. Like, we went through the blueprint for Black Power, and every week a chapter was due. You see what I'm saying? So they gave you a week to read a chapter, even though you got this real busy schedule. It's only one chapter. You got 7 days. And then at the end of the week, you come together, you discuss what you learned, you ask questions about the notes, you build on it, you transition out of that the next chapter next week. That's a controlled environment where people can learn, can comprehend, can rehash what they read for that particular week. Sebu Jawa's class meets once a week. He has several different classes that meet once a week. It's the same structured environment.
By the way, I'm shameless plug. I'm starting a new class group in January this month. So anyone interested in learning the language at a beginner's level, definitely seek out, get in touch with me, or ask anybody in the session, or go straight to the website, saberuniversity.com. So just wanted to make sure everybody understands and knows that.
Is because I see somebody making an excuse. Is Sonetta TV, is it under entertainment or is under education? Anybody know?
I think it's entertainment.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Nez King, shout out, brother. I see you subscribe to the channel. I just got a notification, whoever you are. I know you're not saying anything in the chat. Oh yeah, you did comment in the chat. So yeah, shout out to you, brother. He says people with eyes will see the truth, with ears will hear the truth. If they fail to study to approve themselves and and get robbed by the pseudos, they should not complain. They should not complain. Yeah. Well, you kind of want to arm people from many ways, but that's what you can expect from I think you was asking that question because of bias.
Yeah, it seemed like he's making, I may be wrong, but it seemed like Unbiased Sports is making excuses for Sonetta TV. And I mean, we got to stop that, man. I mean, we had to stop that, man.
You're a moderator, man.
Huh?
You're a moderator.
Okay, well that explains it then. That explains. And I just wanted to know, was it entertainment or was it education? Because I mean, I thought it was an educational channel, even though I thought that's what it was, but I know it's not an educational channel. It's an entertainment channel, because that's all you're gonna get is entertained on that channel. You're not gonna learn nothing from the distractions in the chat, and you're not gonna learn nothing from the distractions in the in the live stream, man. I mean, it just what it is. I mean, like I said, we had to start holding ourselves accountable, man, and stop making these excuses, man, over and over again, man. And again, if we got plenty of options now, plenty of options. So it's no excuse. But like Saber said, man, we just got to do our part, man. I'm just gonna keep doing my part, even though it's hard for me. I'll be honest. I'm not as strong as Sean. I'm not as strong as Saber Wujao, or I may not be as strong as any of these others. I've been doing this I've been in the so-called conscious community since 2015 with the SESU. Um, I started my own platform 3 years ago. Got inspired by Sean, who joined the SESU, started doing Facebook things, Facebook presentations. I followed behind him and started doing the Facebook presentations before I went on. And it's just hard for me. What I'm saying is how I see um, so many of our people saying that they're conscious, they want to learn, they want to what's name, and you have all these options, but you instead of running to these pseudo platforms over here. And it's been many times I've been wanting to just tap out and quit because I ain't that strong, man. Because the stuff that I see, I can go down the street. I can go down the street where I grew up, a street called Italy, but they call it Italy Cartel. So I can go on my old street and I can see another person cuss out another person. I can see another person pin another person against another person for no apparent reason because they want to see somebody fight. You know what I'm saying? I can go see all this foolishness on, if I go to go to my street, man. You know what I'm saying? So at times, and I distance myself from, I go see my grandmother, and I'm out of there. You see what I'm saying? But and the same thing, it makes me with this community. It's been plenty of times where I just wanted to tap out and quit. Y'all done seen my posters. Y'all done seen how they came on. Been a time with Satep and Rod done talked to me. Been a time with Sean, done talked to me. A few other members done talked to me. Man, we got to keep up the work. We got to keep doing such and such. Especially when I wanted to just say the hell with the conscious community, the hell with even trying to do anything. Good sisters like Juju, you know what I'm saying? Saying keep doing the work because they need the work. Good sisters like Sister Kaba, and some others, you know what I'm saying? But at times for me, man, I just get weak, man, where I just want to distance myself and just run away, man, and just say the hell with it because I feel like not just only me, but those other platforms that I named, the work is just in vain. People are still, the traffic is still going over there to those other platforms. And they still are spewing misinformation. They still spewing up lies. They still making up stuff on the spot. It's just crazy, man. So again, 2020, we got to take accountability for our own actions. We have to take a stand. And from now on, that's gonna be one of my phrases: death to the pseudos in 2020, and let's make a stand. Today we need to make a stand, man, and ban those channels, man. Ban them.
I support that.
Yeah, man.
Just like the bomb in Iran. But yeah, that's the thing. So we got a challenge. We have a challenge. Cause I know people listening. People are going to listen to this in the archive. Going to say, "Oh man, you riding." I heard it before. That's what I'm saying. But we riding at those platforms and stuff and everything. And that's just the thing. Um, we're accountable too. And so if we do not provide an option, then we really have no right to to complain. And so we have a job to do. And for 2020, I hope people join in on that. And it's not to say that these other channels shouldn't exist or whatever the case is. It's just it should be properly identified. That's my thing. Misnomers is a big thing. If you call something what it's not, then that's not cool. That's misleading. Call things what they are, But the thing is, misnomers become the norm. Like the most famous misnomers I always use, if people don't know what a misnomer is a driveway and a parkway. If you tell somebody to come over to your house, you say, "Hey, don't park on the street, park in my driveway." You're telling somebody to park on a driveway. Park and drive are two opposite things. but yet you drive on a parkway. Those are classic misnomers, but we use those phrases and terms every day, all day, as if it's normal, as if that doesn't make quite sense, as if it makes sense. I mean, but it doesn't. Those are misnomers. So we better call these things what they are. And so I kind of get what Unbiased is saying, is that he's saying that people should look at it as entertainment. But Unbiased, unfortunately, that's not the reality on the streets, because people look at it as education, though. I mean, it'd be nice if people saw it for what it would be, but that's just not the reality we're facing right now. So, something has to change. And that's the point, and we better provide that change. So channels like this, Masi Warrior Clan, I see, other channels, MBK, Seshu Mighty Better Nature. You got the Amara Squad. Amara Squad as a channel has been kind of a little dormant. Seshu Mighty Better Nature has been kind of dormant. We're going to kick these things off full-fledged, fire everything back up. I'm going to start using my own YouTube channel that I never use, really. I got about 3 videos on there dealing with ADOS and political advocacy, but I'm going to start using it as well to, talk about things to kind of change the conversations, So y'all be on the lookout for that. And I think everybody should just keep doing what they're doing, presentation. So like Sean, your presentation earlier was good. I know Kofi has about like 1,000 presentations lined up, or he's done already. Kofi does like 3. People think, listen, y'all need to stop calling me MC Iron Lung. I know I talk a lot when I do talk, but I don't talk as much as Kofi does, or as frequent. Kofi took the title from me. Y'all can call me MC Iron Lung Jr. He's senior now.
No, sir. No, sir.
Because Kofi does like 3 presentations in a day. Kofi's online. That's why I can't keep up. Kofi like 3 presentations a day. My phone, like Kofi goes online. Kofi goes live so much that he runs my phone battery down with these notifications. Kofi Pi Side TV, Masi Warrior Clan TV, Kofi Pi Side TV, 8 times a day. But no, I'm saying we need to keep up the work. I think we're on to it. We didn't get here overnight, so things are not going to change overnight either. So we got to have accurate or realistic expectations as well. So we can't, get too frustrated about that. Everybody said, nah, Saber, I'm MC Iron Lung. I got him. Nah, I think Kofi got me now. Kofi got me. Yeah. I'm gonna gladly pass you the belt, Kofi.
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, Kofi get to talking, boy. But oh yeah, and Monica, man, Monica's in the chat. I just saw her, Hotep, Monica. Monica's channel. Now I know she has like a show on the Dagger Squad and everything, but I think, and she could definitely correct me, I think she's starting to use her channel as well. I'm not sure, but man, and that's a shame. But we know this is true, right? Everything that we need and that's good for us, it gets the least attention. Monica talks about business, loans, government grants, things like that, insurance, all that. Even Garfield talk about credit repair. Garfield talk about credit repair. He'll have like 60 viewers, 70 viewers, but he talk about banging on somebody and daggering somebody. Man, he'll have 350 viewers, 400 viewers. And, that's sad, but that's just the reality we're facing. People like to be entertained, and that's a reality. Nobody's going to go to a movie if it doesn't have cars blowing up, car chases, or some kind of fighting, blood, and all that other kind of stuff. That's just where we at now, and we just got to face it. And we got to kind of curve it back. We better bring that boring lecture series back. I don't know what it's going to take. Better do something. You know, we can make it fun. We can make it fun. And I know, True Storian, when True Storian gives a lecture, well, I haven't seen all of them, so I can't speak. But from the ones I've seen, True Storian knows that he's part of the boring club. And True Storian will get in the chat and cut a fool. So True Storian becomes a comedian in the chat. But when he's giving a lecture, he's part of the boring club. So I see a True Story. You got to balance it out. So in here, you got to, you can do what you do. And then on the other side, you balance it out. You balance the boringness with everything. I see it. I get it. But anyway, that's our challenge, man, to kind of keep people's attention. And I say the best way to do it is really to just be concise. Like pick a topic, chop it up, don't be too long. And I got to learn this myself too. Chop it up, like keep it bite-sized, keep it manageable, keep it digestible. That way it's going to be boring. That's just what it is. People got to get used to that again. But that's it. Just, no longer than an hour, half hour if you can. And I'm just going to make this suggestion. This is for you, Sean, Kofi, and everybody who's listening. This is what I suggest. So if you're on your channel, right, and you're going to give a presentation, of course, have the quality information and all that good stuff. Keep it concise, but go ahead and give your lecture, like give it, then end it, end your session, and then start a session afterwards, a separate video, a separate session where you invite, the conversation, the questions and all that kind of stuff. That way you have two videos. You have one with just the lecture itself. It's short, bite-sized, people who can go to it. It's archived and see it. Then you have a longer video where you can just talk. People could argue. People could voice their opinion about what you said, everything as a separate video. That way, at least your work and what you've presented is still nice and small, So that's just my suggestion. Always have like a separate video for the conversation part. That way you'll keep it smaller. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, that's a good idea, man. Because I mean, that's what we are doing. We that's what making the videos a little bit longer. Because once me or Sean get through presenting, or any other team get through presenting, now we open it up and we read comments, we discuss, we may bring people on the panel. So that's what makes the show longer, because the discussion afterwards, the talk after the presentation.
Exactly. That's what happens to me. Cause that's how I got MC Iron Lung, because once somebody opens the conversation up, I can go. And I realize that's not effective. So, that's my suggestion, and I'm changing it up the way I do it. It's going to be a straight lecture, straight sharing of information. Then we have a after party right after. Everybody can come into Zoom, talk about it, ask about it, whatever. So everything's good. So I'm just putting it out there. Do it like that. I think we'd be all right. People want to hear the noise, they tune into that video. If they just want to see the information, tune into that video. There you go. So that's it. Oh, we got a moment of silence.
Oh yeah, I thought Kofi was gonna talk. Kofi been quiet. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, he could talk again.
Oh, when we get to talking about this certain type of subject, man, I'm gonna talk, man. But I'm done. I'm hungry, man. I'm gonna get me something to eat.
Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully everybody work on their research methods, study. And I made a point, and I can't believe that somebody took my point and misconstrued it, mischaracterized my point that I was making. But I was saying, for me, I've been on Facebook since 2009, maybe 2010 or 2009. So I've been on Facebook for roughly 10 years. And in those 10 years, I've seen certain conversations and topics come and go, and certain personalities come and go or remain. And so I made a comment. I was saying that In all of these arguments, back and forth arguments, in 10 years' time, do you understand that a school, a child can go to school K through 12 and learn 12 grades of education in 12 years? So I'm looking at 10. So I'm 2 years shy of a full child's education in terms of high school. In college, it takes 4 years to get a degree, the average degree, bachelor's degree. Some extra years, you can get your master's and then a PhD. So in 10 years, you can have a PhD. In 10 years, you could definitely have a master's and a bachelor's degree, only 4 years. And some of you, if you want to get an associate's degree, it's about 2 years. So I'm looking at that, I'm saying, man, you know, people spend a lot of time on social media fussing and arguing about something that they did not study with rigor, but yet they had the time to, because they're arguing for 5 and 10 years over the same stuff, but they didn't take the time out to be trained in it, to educate themselves, even if they're autodidact. You know, I only mention college because that's just a reality people could go to college for. But even if it's on a level of being an autodidact, teaching yourself, the point is that people waste time arguing and fighting and fussing each other rather than educating themselves on a specific topic of interest, getting really good at that, and then bringing that knowledge to the table, and then setting up a multidisciplinary team to share information, to cross-pollinate this information. I've been dealing with Kemet, and so I've you know, put my head into that. I dove into that, so I can come to anybody's table and share that information, you know, with you know, competency. And so if people did that for other areas and we all come together, those are the kind of conversations that we need to have, instead of pretending to fuss and fight over things we really don't know. We microwave, we just Googled, or we just read, you know, just 1-2 pages out of a book, you know, and stuff like that. And you could tell those people because they'll cite sources that really go against their point, but they feel like they, just because they're citing sources, they're good to go. So yeah, we need to change that. All right, but anyway, I'm gonna mute my mic and pass this iron lung belt back over to Kofi.
Hey, pass it back to Kofi. Nah, this was a good conversation, one that always has to be had every now and then. I think that we need to stop being apologists for certain behaviors, and I think that we should make certain people own up to their ignorance and be privy to how that affects others. It's called accountability, and if we're not willing to hold people accountable for their actions, what they say and what they do, and how they portray that to be, then we need to, you know, we need to take a long look at ourselves, because, you know, your son or daughter in the future will be looking at this information that you've given them and pick up on another one of the videos, and then they'll deem that behavior acceptable when in reality it should not be such. So, you know, people are not going to get along. That's true. You're not going to have a positive show every show. That's true. You know, but if we're using these moments as teaching moments, then we need to make folk adhere to the guidelines and principles of that which we want instilled into our children. So if someone is to teach you anything, you know, you have to look at it like, okay, is this acceptable for my kids? Like, is the character of this person acceptable for my kids? Is the behavior of this person okay for my kids? You know, because not everything that's being said is going to be acceptable, right? You're going to have the language. You can't make people not cuss, you know, or get certain points out or whatnot. Sometimes in certain bills, things like that transpire. Kofi cusses all the time. So, you know, I ain't saying that, but I'm just saying, you know, we just got to have that high regard.
Lies.
You do cuss all the time. So, and September Rock cuss more than you. So, nah, man. We got to just, you know, take a look at it and really look at ourselves and say, you know what, man, when we are giving these presentations and we are providing, you know, our research and so on and so forth, that, yeah, we drop it on the people and then we start to, you know, hold that person's accountable for their actions from that point forward, because some people see these people as teachers. And if that is the case, for those that we do see as teachers, for people who do see certain people as teachers, then they should be held at a criterion that would that criterion of a teacher, and then we should start asking them to advance knowledge, and you know, through writing, through publications, and therefore we make them adhere to these, you know, bylaws of what we want to learn, the way we want to learn. And I'm saying that because that applies pressure. And when we start applying pressure, then, you know, like we said earlier, be the change you want to see. That applying pressure then makes people, okay, this is no longer acceptable. Me acting like I did in 2016, banging on Hebrews, is no longer acceptable. I need to now teach these people why I'm going to this particular source, why this particular source is so important to this discussion when dealing with the Hebrews, or why this particular source is credible enough to present against the Moors and all the other facets, and so on and so forth. So until we start doing that, you know what I mean, people gonna keep on getting by with what we call shotgun. Well, the not shotgun scholarship, but battle rap, a battle rap scholarship. We can make learning fun, but it's not always gonna be fun. We can have a little fun too, and even in doing that, but we have to find things that we could take away from these bills, these conversations, these presentations, these, you know, lectures, these articles we're writing, these journals that we're publishing, these books that we're publishing. We gotta, you know, we gotta find more takeaways than just the ignorant hours. So nobody else got anything to say, man. You know, I don't see nothing in the chat. We can kind of move a little bit forward. And we'll end the show. Sutep, you got something, Sutep?
I don't want to curse, man. Go ahead, Sutep.
I keep eating. But yeah, man, so we're in the show right there, man. I'm gonna say Shimon Hotel again. Subscribe to all the channels. I'm a Rock Squad, Masi Warrior Clan, Dag Squad, MBK.
You got a bunch of questions in the chat for you.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go back to it.
No, I'm just messing with you.
Oh, okay. Go to subscribe to Brother Garfield channel. I think Monica runs that on Wednesdays when she's doing the government contracting. Make sure you also subscribe to her regular Monica page. She has a lot of information she shares. She's trying to get people funded to do certain things that they want to do, and she's vital to what we got going on. Make sure you subscribe to Dr. Mod's, Dr. Oya Mod's YouTube page. She's been doing a book club via YouTube for the past few years, and it has been very relevant. There's been several books that have been read on that channel, and the videos are logged in case you want to go back and review those books in text and deal with some of the information that we got going If this your first time in our chat, I've been seeing the Asiatic and the Bay, so we usually don't get Asiatics and Bays over here. Subscribe to the channel, I guess. I don't know.
Those Asiatics and Bays, they have the true story in with that video, the MBK video.
Oh yeah. You're right. You're right. Dang, you're right. So yeah, y'all got to deal with what he said in that particular video. I already did that contrarian thinker.
Let me answer Lakeisha Dunn.
Okay, good. Yeah, go ahead.
She said, "What books would you recommend for beginners?" I'm assuming she's talking about the Egyptian language. Now I have to answer this and say that as you see on my screen, I'm showing an advertisement for a new beginners group that I'm forming for January. Every month, I advertise a grouping of people to begin a beginners group, and so what I recommend is that you take a course, and even if it's not with me, to actually take a course and be instructive, get under the wings of someone competent, a competent teacher. But I am offering a class, a beginner's class, and I'm starting a new group for January. And I have a textbook, The Beginner's Introduction to Meta Nature, and it's a 12-week course. It's actually self-paced, but 12 weeks, once a week, we meet for a live 2-hour live sessions to, chronologically or I guess walk through in a sequential order, walk through the book, and I answer all questions and make sure you understand information in hopes that you at the end you pass the proficiency test to become certified. All right, so my recommendation to you is to seek out the class, and I'm just starting. So I saw that you inboxed me, and I think I responded. So yeah, if you're interested, let me know, and I'll send you the information. And for everybody else, just take a screenshot of this flyer, this advertisement. You can go straight to Sabre University, or contact me. My name on Facebook is Wu Jiao. Nobody else has that. And my email is wujiao@gmail.com. So you can contact me if you're interested. And even if you learn from somebody else, you can take a refresher course. Now, this year, I'm also going to start after I publish the grammar book, which is a book that I'll be publishing around April. I will be offering public advanced level with the grammar, a full analysis of the grammar course. I'm going to offer those as well. All right. So, but thanks for asking. And yeah, just I'll send you information.
Yeah, that's a good point. Sinet, Hashepthum. I guess you're trying to Hashepsit, but if I messed your name up, I'm sorry. Himuset. But yeah, Himuset. Yeah.
Hashepnun Hemuset. That's an interesting name. What does that name mean, by the way? Oh, see.
Yeah.
Spot. No. Hatshepnun Hemuset. What does that name mean?
And I don't think that we could get them to put entertainment on their channels though, on their videos. They gonna say it's educational. She said some people sound like an infomercial. Yeah, I can see that.
Mm. But as far as the set shoe, we have
What do my say about being qualified by those who are verified or something like that? Well, first of all, is Dr. Ma'at, and she got it from Kofi. I think she got it from Kofi. Kofi, what it says? Have your works been verified by somebody who's qualified? What is it, Kofi? How it go? Oh, now you mute. I know you eating, but say it.
Yeah, I'm eating, but what you say now?
Okay, you know the saying that you told, was it Dr. Ma'at? I think she got it from you.
Yeah.
She got it from you. So you're verified by somebody that's qualified, quote. Give it to me.
Hold on, I'm gonna give you the whole thing. I think I still got it pulled up.
Yeah, Kofi gave her that.
I thought I had it already pulled up. I have all well, I got one right here.
These are called Kofi isms.
But nah, it's just something that I always have to do. I just put a disclaimer out there. I just read the whole thing with it.
Go
It's
ahead.
huh?
Go ahead and read it.
Yeah, my disclaimer is I am not a teacher, but merely a student sharing information. And that information provided is for the educational purpose only. And if you are in doubt, do the research and have it verified by someone qualified. I reserve the right to change the focus of this presentation to shut down, sell, or exchange the terms or use at my own discretion. All trademark, design rights, copyrights, registered names, mottos, logos, avatars, or sigmas or marks used or cited by this website or their property of their respective owners. I reserve the right to add information as it comes available or adapt changes or improve information as it comes available in the future. Inputs wanted, changes, additions, deletions, or encouraged. So that's the whole thing. And that's just letting people also know that I know information is always being updated, changed. So I have no problem with changing my information. I have no problem with improving my information. Um, and I don't have any problems with inputs or deletions. Um, um, so that's just letting you know that, you know, I don't mind being critiqued. I don't mind someone, sharing something with me that I don't know. I'm not gonna cuss you out. I'm not gonna fuss at you like other people may do when you call them out on their information or their sources or whatever. But that's it. That's a disclaimer.
Yep. So you where'd it go? Somebody just quoted it. Yeah, in order to be certified, you must be verified by someone who is qualified.
Mm-hmm.
There you are. And people gotta understand. People gotta put in the work. We gotta stop being lazy in general. Put in the work, you know. And I get it. You know, people got lives to live and put food on their table, so they may not have the time to put in that rigor in their studies. And so you want somebody that you can trust, that you can count on, because you may not have the time to do it yourself. So you expecting people to put forth quality, and unfortunately, these platforms are not living up to that expectation, and people get locked in with that. And so, you know, we have a challenge to do, is to give them the options, and that's what we owe the community as a whole. We should take on that responsibility and do that for people. You know, that's it. Like, for example, you don't have time to go get a MD degree and get licensed to practice medicine in order to heal your own children and stuff. So what do? You take your child to a trusted physician, to whatever. So, and you expect that physician to have quality experience and skills and know what they're doing and everything like that. You put your trust in them. Well, for information, people should have that same option, because they themselves don't have time to study, you know, hundreds of books on Egypt, uh, or learn a language to be able to read the text themselves, or the multitude of African cultures, East and West Coast. If they want to deal with that, they should have a group of people or person they trust enough that have shown suitable proficiency and have been tried and proven, and their behavior, their character, and integrity and their reputation stands on its own, to where they can put their trust in that person. That's what we can offer. Can't speak for other people. You know, that's what we can offer, and that's what we should be doing. Consistency, you know, and that's it. And like you said, we need to be open minded to be corrected, because a real scientist follows the evidence. Period. You know, science is self correcting. So if a scientist can self correct, they just follow the evidence. They don't worship a personality. They don't personalize information, because they know that facts are facts. You cannot mess with facts, but the explanation of those facts may change due to new or added facts to the body of facts that you already have, that will cause you to explain things a little differently. And that's really the definition of a scientific theory, which is an explanation of facts. And so that's why theories can change over time. The facts don't, but the explanation of them do. And that's how science is able to do it, because they don't personalize things. Yep, that's it.
Yep. Let's see. They keep asking for debates, but like Sean tells them, we are researchers and our teams teach. Yep. They don't want to. Yeah, you great. She makes a great point. They want everybody to debate.
Dr. John Henry Clark recently had a birthday, beginning of the year, and I sympathize or accept his words where he says, I only debate my equals, all others I teach. That's it. That's me. I tell people to bring their teachers. I really haven't seen any people that are qualified. And like I said, these debates, we haven't really seen debates. These are entertainment, fussing matches, rap battle, gladiator style, lock them up, shoot them down type of situations. These are not real debates. They're not real debates. Haven't seen one yet. Haven't seen one yet. Nope. A real debate. If you want to look at it, just look at court TV. I mean, go to a trial in your local courthouse. Go sit in on some trials. That's a good debating format that the so-called conscious community should adopt, where both sides put things in writing, motions, pleadings into the court. Oral hearing is scheduled where they argue their stuff that they already wrote. And then as far as a trial setting, you'll get to understand that you're not trying to convert your opponent or the other side. You're trying to convince the jury. No defense attorney is trying to convince the prosecutor. No prosecutor is trying to convince the defense attorney. They're both trying to convince the jury. That changes the game. And in order for the jury to understand the information, you have to educate the jury.
I was gonna say there's an irony in that, because a lot of the so-called people in the conscious community claim they come from the streets. You know, most people come from the streets. They've been to court before, so they know how the proceedings are. You know, they
That's
know
a
how
good
the
point.
proceedings are. But when we in this forum, we don't adhere to it. You know what I'm saying? We don't do those type of proceedings. A lot of people in the conscious community know what you're saying.
You're right, though. That's a good point. The irony in that, a lot of people have been in and out of court. They know how it runs, but they don't want to use that for the debate. You're right. But that's a good debating. You know, it's different debating categories, but that's probably a perfect one for the conscious community. Submit your arguments in writing. Schedule a date to orally argue those things, and you got to go through a period of educating the public, because see, this is the thing. If you're like let's say the recent vaccine discussion, if people in the audience are ignorant of vaccines themselves or how the immune system works and the human immune system works, then no matter what the two debaters are arguing about, they're not going to be able to make an informed judgment of who won or who had the superior claims or whatever. They're just there for the entertainment. Who spoke the loudest? Who had the ooh-ahs? Who had the shock value? You know, who had the best computer? Who had the best PowerPoint? Who made eye contact the best? You know, those superficial things. And so in debating, there is a process of education. Even lawyers know that. They have to educate the jury during a trial. They incorporate that in the trial. You know, that's why they bring expert witnesses to take the stand to educate it. That's what they're there for. Expert witnesses are there for the purpose of educating the jury. So they'll bring an expert in, and he'll be tendered as an expert witness, and his testimony has higher weight because he is specialized and certified in a specific field. And so the jury learns from that, you know, outside of the controversy of the charges and all that kind of stuff. So it's the same thing. Same thing, you know. But all right, fellas, gotta make sure that I keep the juniorism of my MC Iron Lung to a limit, because I don't want to take the belt back from Kofi. I need to let Kofi have that.
Kofi don't want it.
Oh, now Kofi don't want the belt no more. Ain't that so?
We got another brother in the running for that, don't
Hey, yeah, ain't nobody said that. About Vasa, boy, that boy there, man.
Oh yeah, Vasa, yeah, he can go.
Oh, Vasa taking it here, because Vasa will talk for 30 minutes and they'll be like, do you see where I'm going with it?
That's his favorite.
Yeah. You get where I'm going? You get where I'm going? You get where I'm going? After a whole hour of explaining, he's like, you get where I'm going? You get where I'm going with it?
Oh, we done win. We done came back and forth.
Vasa, if you're in the chat, boy, I know Vasa gonna laugh. Because
Man, I told him the last bill. I said, Vasa can't talk. Man, he was on there with Ankh, yo, and then he brought up Umar, man. I was done.
Yeah. Oh, that was when I was on. Yeah, that was when I was with the pedal on.
I said, don't say ooh.
You get where I'm going with that? I just mentioned Umar Johnson for this, that, and the third. You get where I'm going?
No, fool.
Mm-hmm.
You get where I'm going?
Yeah.
He said, all right, because Vasa will talk a lot, but then he said, all right, well, after 45 minutes, all right, well, let me mute, because I don't want to talk too much. You get where I'm going?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, that's my man, though. That's my man. Yeah. But Shannon, you finna end the show, ain't you?
Yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and don't be trying to, man, make me end the show, man. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I ain't got nothing to do with your household, man. Don't put this on me. I got my own house, my own situation. You know, don't try to like Sean kept me on there. Don't put this on me. I got my own problems. Don't put this on me.
All right.
Yeah, she listening.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to pin this on me, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't made Kofi do nothing. I promise.
I'm finna get off.
I'm looking, man, making sure we don't have it. He says, Black Lion got a question. He says, why is the style you promote us, Ujau, not getting the attention of the other platforms in question?
Oh, the style, what I was saying about debating?
Yeah.
Well, like I said, a lot of people don't know what debating really looks like. And I'm not, and that's just the way it is. People are not exposed to that. I know how debating is. I worked as a paralegal, so I'm familiar with the legal process. And then I was trained as a debater in college. So I just had that experience. So, I was fortunate to be exposed to that experience. But a lot of people aren't. And so they think fussing is debating. And it's not. There's a format to it, because the goal of debating, listen, the ultimate outcome of a debate is to solve a problem. That's the ultimate goal. And so the very word debate means to hammer out, to beat up and hammer out. And what you're beating up is an issue to expose its guts in order to solve the issue. And so when two opposing findings meet head to head, you have to argue it out, and whoever has the superior claim and can back their claims with the heavier weight of evidence, they come out on top. And so so you're not banging on a person, you're banging on the issue. That's what a debate is, to beat down an issue, not a person. And so a lot of people don't understand it. And so we got this entertainment aspect of it, the money making aspect of it in there, the rap battle, and stuff. So it basically just comes from inexperience or not, or the not non-exposure to what real debating is about and what the goals are for debating. And that's why, but we need to change it by just teaching, telling people, you know so we can't do that. Like I've had people approach me and want to debate me, so they'll call themselves calling me out, quote unquote, calling me out. And so when they do that, I ask them, well, what are you going to debate me? What are you trying to debate me on? And they'll say something like, oh, I don't care, it don't matter what the topic is, I just want to debate you. And I'm like, do you understand that that's not how debating works? Like, you don't even know if you disagree with me on something, but yet you want to debate me. So why is that? And so that a person like that, they have the wrong impression of what debating is about. They think it's what these platforms have been pushing. That's not it. These debates are not debates. That's false. They're not debates. You haven't seen a debate yet. I have yet to see a debate on these platforms. I have yet to see it. You know, so nah, these people are just fussing at each other. Can't even stay on topic. Not moderated.
I'll say, Unc, I was watching Unc and Bro Sanchez. That was a pretty good one. I don't know if you've seen that, but
Oh, which one? Say it again.
it was Unc against Brother Sanchez. That was pretty structured right there. I'll give him that because it was timed when nobody you know how Unc be turning up. He wasn't turned up. He was just it was a good discussion. I don't know if it was a debate, but it was the closest thing that I've seen to what you're saying.
Oh, I see what you're saying. But here's the thing. Um, a debate has two waves of judgment. So when you debate, the real time judgment is based on presentation. So you can judge somebody on their presentation, um, how well did they articulate their arguments, how the quality of their presentation, whether it was electronic through PowerPoint, how well spoken they were, and everything like that. All those elements can be judged on the spot in real time. But when you, at the end of the day, the bigger and most important part of a debate is the accuracy of the information. And most times you can't judge that on the spot. So in your presentation, you're supposed to provide people with a way to make that judgment later. And so these modern debates should conclude by having a book available. So prior to a debate, the debaters should have their arguments in writing to present to the audience so they could take it home and comb through it, scrutinize it, so they can make the judgment later. And at the presentation, because it's limited in terms of time, you're just going over your points and things. So what reason I'm saying this is because a lot of people fail to do the second part. They don't know any better of who's telling the who is accurate and who's not. And so when people do that, and then they say, well, press one if you think Unc won, press two if you think Sanchez won, and all that other kind of stuff, that's silly. Because that makes absolutely no sense. So it's close. You know what I'm saying? The people know, and they can set a stopwatch and give people 3 minutes to talk and take turns talking, but that's still not debating, you know, because that's just common communication. Nobody should talk while somebody else is talking. So just because they set that up, that doesn't constitute a debate. A well structured debate is structured all the way through from A to Z. But I get what you're saying. That it's just a better conversation.
Yeah, that's why I was like, yeah, it was a good discussion, but in
Yeah,
the
it's good.
terms of the conscious community world, that would be in a sense a good debate. But
Yeah, yeah.
when it comes to what you saying, I would say it was a good discussion.
Right. And that's good. We need that too. We definitely need better communication, man. I've seen people cut each other off, yell, curse each other out, and that's not cool either. So yeah, that's good. That's a positive thing. That should be applauded. Their conversation should be applauded for that.
It was just a step in the right direction, my opinion.
Right. That should be applauded. Anytime you can have a good mature conversation, that's real good. but I caught a little bit of it, I think, or maybe I scrubbed through it after the fact, and the actual content now.
Right.
I don't know. My man started talking about Antarctica and Shambhala and Argata and man, the pygmies in North and South Pole with Santa Claus and riding reindeers and stuff. Man.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, looks like we have come to the final end of the end of the end. Yeah, I don't see no more questions.
Hey, just talking, man.
Yeah, just talking. So we're gonna get off, man. You know, like, share, subscribe to all the family channels mentioned above. Tune in next week to another Monster Warrior Clan show. You can go back and watch Rock the Bells. Share it with your kids. It's informative, and we'll have a little bit more fun with the information. We try to introduce people to the actual culture and tradition for a specific reason, so that it's not all just the big serious gulp of information. And then for people who want to have discussions and conversations about things, we'll get into that too. So make sure you tune in and look out for anytime that we share information, man. Just make sure you're available to catch it from all the families. And hopefully we can get the Amon Ra Squad to go live about something that they got up their sleeve they ain't been telling nobody about. And we'll deal with that. Gamma say Shimon Hotep, and y'all have a good day.